I recently read an article on LinkedIn entitled "A Human Resources Career is Not for Nice People." I know what you're thinking. I am a nice person, right? Well, I can assure you it's all an act. I'm only kidding. Well, half kidding, because I completely agreed with everything in the article and felt compelled to share it. Like many, when I first became interested in a career in HR, one of the main things that attracted me to it was that I would be working with people. Personally, I felt it tied in well with my degree in sociology and my interest in the human psyche, as well as my being an advocate for fairness and equality. What a lovely person I was. Don't get me wrong, these things are still hugely important to me, but at the start of my career I do believe I was misinformed about the purpose of HR. I've learned that human resources does not need nice people. Empathetic, fair and resilient people, yes, but nice, no. HR is not just about the people, and in particular it is not the job of HR to solely help them. The role of HR is to facilitate the achievement of the organisation's objectives through its people. Whilst this does involve creating and maintaining a positive and effective work environment, it does also mean that we're responsible for delivering difficult messages, so where someone might get in the way of achieving certain objectives or that they might not be the right fit for the organisation. So this includes putting on a Grim Reaper outfit when needed. Let me give you some examples. Poor performance. A nice person will find it very difficult to tell someone that their performance is subpar or that they're failing in their role. To give direct, constructive feedback to someone about their career and to not allow yourself to get distracted by their justifications or excuses, that will go against a nice person's natural preferences. You would want to give them the benefit of doubt and chance after chance to improve with all the possible support in the world. But businesses cannot sustain this. We understand that people can't improve unless they know what's going wrong and how to fix it for themselves. And we have to balance this with a commercial outlook. So what impact is one person having on the overall success of the team or of the organisation, and how does this impact on their colleagues? In HR, we understand that it can be cruel to be kind. For HR professionals, difficult conversations are our bread and butter. We regularly have to communicate in this manner, but we do so with fairness and transparency at the forefront of our minds. And that's fairness to the employee and to the business. Another example, think restructures or redundancies. Someone is bound to lose out or be uncomfortable with the prospect of change. Humans are emotionally complex creatures. A nice person will want to wrap them up in cotton wool and protect them, or may even resent the business for putting somebody in that position in the first place. An HR professional can't allow themselves to be swayed by this. Yes, we'll of course want to preserve the individual's dignity and take a compassionate approach, but ultimately there is a business decision to be made. And unfortunately, someone, or more than one, might be adversely affected by this, and that is the nature of the beast. We cannot allow ourselves to become bogged down with how that person's life will change as a result of the decision. Yes, we can help set them up to be able to move on, so help them with their CV, provide interview skills or outplacement support, but we must not worry about whether someone can pay their mortgage. Someone who is nice is likely to get too invested in helping them. That's not only counterproductive in enabling them to move on and take responsibility for their own future, but it can also cloud judgment in terms of them understanding the bigger picture and seeing the positives of the situation. So we may have had to lose one or two individuals, but that is to help keep the business operating and to keep the rest of the team in employment. What about training, learning, development? This is about giving people the support and opportunities they need, not want. There has to be a business reason and an available budget to approve any expenditure on training and development. And it's not nice to have to turn someone down when it comes to their own personal growth. Final example, I promise, attendance. A nice person might naturally assume all sickness absences were genuine and would seek to avoid to have a conversation with an employee to advise them that their low levels of attendance were becoming unsustainable. Well, because they can't help it if they're ill, right? However, I'm afraid being in HR can make you a little bit of a cynic. We do see patterns to sickness levels and do know that people call in sick simply because they fancy a day off work. One thing I've learned through work in HR is that people themselves aren't always nice or fair, and so working with people does require resilience and cannot simply be managed by niceness alone. Whilst the principles behind employment law have the best intentions, we do see that being used against employers. So we might start to manage someone's poor conduct and they go off sick, or claim bullying and harassment. As much as it might be our preference to deal with people issues in a nice and collaborative way, this is not always possible, or even advisable. HR has to be prepared for the gloves to come off. So it is essential that we take a clear, firm and fair approach in every interaction that we have, and that we don't take it personally when we become the focus of negativity. For us to remain rational, a balanced approach is critical, as is to remember what the purpose of HR is, i.e. to help organisations achieve their goals and objectives through their people, not simply to help the people. Whilst helping and witnessing single individuals grow is great, Helping and watching a whole company grow through all of its people is even more rewarding. So I guess the moral of my ramblings: if you're looking to pursue a career in HR, make sure you understand why it exists and that you're getting into it for the right reasons. Loving to work with people and getting the opportunity to utilise your nice, soft, fluffy skills, that alone will not cut the mustard. You might get walked all over. HR requires you to wear many different hats and for you to embrace variety and a whole host of challenges that come your way. But key to all of it is the ability to take a firm but fair stance across all levels of the business. And yes, that does involve having to have the confidence and resilience to challenge the managing director.